late 1970s, America as a nation was still a creditor nation. We had debts, but it was on balance, we were still a creditor nation, which we remained until the mid 80s. So there are many different things now, as far as we are concerned, we being the United States, and our situation is much, much worse. And these guys in Washington are making it very much worse every day. Not every month, every day. They're making it worse.
This is Jim Rogers, one of the world's greatest investors and market analysts. He's also a realist who predicts that we are heading toward an imminent economic collapse, and he has made it his personal mission to convince people to prepare for this. Rogers co-founded the Quantum Fund with billionaire investor George Soros in 1987. The fund famously made a 5,000% return in the following 10 years, catapulting both men into financial stardom. Since then, Rogers has launched his own privately held investment firm, Jim Rogers Investments LLC, as well as several books on investing and a traveling road show aptly titled Investment Counsel. In an interview with Adam Targat, Jim Rogers warned of an impending economic crash that will result in widespread job losses and home foreclosures. He believes that the current economic situation is unsustainable and that a major correction is inevitable. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will take a look at why Jim Rogers tells everyone to prepare, as most people are likely to lose their homes and jobs. Please watch, like, and share this video. Also, drop your comments and thoughts below, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more related content similar to this. We begin with a short clip of Jim Rogers.
Periodically had recessions since the beginning of time, all over the world. Has been, I presume it always will be, but Janet Yellen said, who was the Secretary of the Treasury, said, no, we have figured it all out. Don't worry, we have it under control. Well, she's got degrees from a couple of fancy Ivy League schools, so if you believe her, then don't worry, Washington's sorted all this out now. I happen to know she's wrong, and I happen to know that we will have recessions again in the world. And the next one has to be very bad. But as I explained, 2008 was a nightmare for many of us, for many people. Since then, the debt has gone up by astonishing amounts. You cited some numbers before. Pick any numbers you want. They're terrifying. And it's continuing to get worse every day. So the next time we have a problem, I mean, Adam, it's just simple addition. Look out the window, the debt is skyrocketing everywhere. So the next problem has to be very, very bad. And it'll be the worst in my lifetime. And I'm older than you, so it'll be the worst in your lifetime too. I didn't say it'd be the worst in the world, the worst in history or anything like that. I just said in my life.
You may not be able to see the storm coming, but you can still hear it. In fact, that's the only way you'll know that a storm is coming. The thunder of an economic crisis is growing louder and louder. As this storm hits, it will wipe out savings accounts, destroy home values, and cost people their jobs and homes. If you know anything about Jim Rogers, you probably think he's crazy. He left Wall Street in 2000 to move to Singapore and invest in emerging markets. That was right before the dot-com bust and recession hit hard. Since then, he has been predicting another major financial crisis as well as catastrophic effects from climate change, again, landing him with a reputation as a crazy man who lives on a secluded island somewhere in Fiji or something like that. Listen to these carefully.
Well, I guess I would first abolish the Federal Reserve, then I would resign, because somebody would shoot me when things really got bad. No, I would cut government spending with an act, not with an axe, with a chainsaw, because the situation is dramatic, it is historic, and I would stop printing money. I would let the market decide what kind of interest rates the world needs. You know, we've had 3 central banks in American history, Adam, as you know. The first 2 disappeared. This one is probably going to disappear too eventually because they keep making such horrible mistakes. So, but if I were doing it, I would get rid of the central bank. I'd let the market determine interest rates as it has in the past, and the world somehow survived. Yes, we had recessions, but we've had recessions since the beginning of time. In the Old Testament, they talked about 7 good years and 7 lean years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you and I are not the first people to know that we have hard times sometimes in the world and in history. It's been going on for many decades, many centuries. So they have the scope and the historic precedent to go much, much higher, which I suspect they will, for the reasons that we've discussed. And that will have a dramatic effect on housing. We have had a huge amount of home building in the last decade or so. I don't have the numbers at hand, but I know everybody has been building houses. Some would call that a bubble, but even if it's not a bubble, it has certainly been a boom. And when that comes to an end, you know, if your house goes down in price, it doesn't affect you too badly unless you have to sell or something. But then when your neighbors' houses start going down and your relatives' houses start going down, then you really feel the pressure, because you know, if I have to sell or whatever wealth I thought I had, I don't have anymore. And then people everywhere start talking about it, because, you know, one of the things that many people talk about are property prices, house prices. And if they start going down, it's going to be high on their list of things to talk about, much higher than the football game. If everybody's house price is going down, everybody's going to talk about it and moan and complain, which leads to more.
Rogers says that the incoming crisis would hit everyone and would be very bad than what happened in 2008. He believes it would be the worst in the world and the worst he has ever seen in his lifetime. He went on to say that if he had the opportunity to handle the government, he would ensure to abolish the Federal Reserve, cut government spending, and stop the excess printing of money other government has always done. Listen to these carefully.
And just look at the numbers and what has happened throughout history. Yes, we've had lots. I mean, I think unemployment has been the lowest in a long time in the US. When we start having problems, it goes from the lowest, it usually goes much higher. You know, things, when they get overextended on the downside, they get overextended on the upside. That's the way the world works. That's the way history works. So, no, of course, I would expect unemployment to go higher and higher. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just telling you how the world has always worked.
Yep.
This is the way the world has always worked, just as from the Old Testament, they had 7 good years and 7 bad years. I mean, this has been going on a long, long, long time. So don't listen to me. Just read some history, do your own research, and then you will get knowledgeable. And if you get knowledgeable, you will get worried, because you will see this has happened many times before, and it's going to happen again, as it always has. And those who are prepared and knowledgeable will do well and survive. Some people came out of the 30s very rich. Not me. If you're prepared, you'll do fine.
While Rogers' comments may be alarming, it's important to remember that he is a successful investor who has made a career out of being a contrarian. So while his predictions should not be ignored, they should also not be taken as gospel. Nonetheless, his warnings should be taken seriously, and if you have the means to do so, preparing for the worst is always a wise idea. There are a number of ways that you and your family can prepare for an economic crash. Here are 7 of them. 1. Have an emergency fund. This will help you cover unexpected expenses and help you keep up with your bills if you lose your job. 2. Get rid of debt. This will help you free up more money to cover your expenses if you lose your job or have a decrease in income. 3. Invest in yourself. This means taking courses and learning new skills that can help you find a new job if you lose your old one. 4. Stay diversified. This means having different sources of income so that if one decreases, you have others to fall back on. 5. Stay disciplined. This means living within your means and not overspending. 6. Have a plan. This means knowing what you would do if you lost your job or had a decrease in income. 7. Be prepared. This means having a supply of food and water and being able to take care of yourself and your family if you have to for an extended period of time. What do you think about these matters of urgency Rogers has warned everyone about? Can anything be done to prevent these catastrophes? Feel free to let us know in the comment section below. Kindly share this video with your family and friends, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching. Anticipate our next video update.